Welcome, friends, to Education Tricks 99. So, before starting my video, I will quickly introduce myself. My name is Sachin Gakhar, and I did my Master in Pharmacy in Pharmaceutical Quality Assurance, and also I did Post Graduation Diploma in Pharmaceutical Regulatory Affairs, and I am from Delhi. So, coming to course overview, like what we learned today. So, we will learn what is common technical document, like what are the different types of CTD modules, and how to prepare the dossiers as per CTD format. Like we have to submit the ANDA, NDA as per CTD format. So, I will tell you what are the different criteria for for preparation of dossiers, like what we have to submit in the dossier to regulatory agencies. Okay, so yes, so coming to common technical document, like what is CTD? So CTD is a common technical document which is maintained by ICH. Okay, and it is a set of specifications for the application dossiers for the registration of the medicine. So basically, CTD is a set of specifications which is used for preparing the dossiers to submit to regulatory agencies. And now these specifications are designed to be used across the United States, Europe, and Japan. And through CTD, we are compiling quality data, safety data, and efficacy data in a common format. And CTD format is widely accepted by the regulatory authorities of other countries as well, such as Health Canada, Australia. So coming to CTD modules. So what is CTD modules? Like there are 5 CTD modules are there. Number one is module 1. Module 1 is also called as regional administrative information, like it contains regional administrative information. So we will discuss like what is included in the module 1, module 1 to module 5 in the next slides, right? So this module 1 is not a part of CTD. Then coming to module 2. So this module 2, first of all, before going into module 2, we should know what is quality overall summary. So QoS means quality overall summary and TOC means table of content. So in module 2, first of all, we have to submit the CTD table of contents, like what are the different types of content. So we have to arrange accordingly in the table. So table of contents, and then CTD introduction, then coming to quality overall summary and non-clinical overview part we have to submit, then non-clinical summary part, then clinical overview part, and clinical summary part. Okay, so we will discuss in our next slide like what we have to submit in the non-clinical overview, non-clinical summaries, clinical summaries. Okay, then coming to module 3. So module 3 is basically called as quality part. Like in module 3 we have to submit the quality data. Coming to module 4, this module 4 is basically, what is this? Module 4 is safety part, like we have to submit the safety part over there. And module 4 is also called as non-clinical study reports, like we have to submit the non-clinical study reports in module 4. Then coming to module 5. So what is module 5? Module 5 is basically we have to submit the efficacy data, right? It is also called as clinical study reports module 5. So clinical study reports we have to submit in the module 5. So this is all about the CTD part. So like module 2, module 3, module 4, and module 5 are the part of CTD, but module 1 is not a part of CTD, right? So now coming to the preparation of dossier as per CTD format. So we will sorry, we will take an example of Europe, like by module 1. So module 1 is basically administrative and prescribing information, right? So and we are taking the example of Europe, like what we have to submit in the Europe market in the module 1. So in module 1, the number one criteria is cover letter. So we have to submit the cover letters. Then there is a comprehensive table of contents, then application forms, then product information, and then so under the product information there are several things like we have to submit. So what, like summary of product characteristics of the product and the labeling and packaging information about the product we have to submit into this, and then mock-up, and then specimens, like we have to submit the specimen also, and then consultation with target patient group, like whatever we consult with the target patient, so we have to submit the data, and then summary of product characteristics which are already approved in the member states, because in Europe, you know, there are 27 member states, and then so one is UK, like due to this Brexit guideline, UK is a separate country now. So we have to submit all the data separately for the Europe and Europe member states and UK. Now, preparation of dossier as per CTD format. So we are concerning about. So Braille, we have to submit information about the experts. We have to submit in this part specific requirements for different types of applications. Okay, like because there are different types of application in the Europe market, like for the generic product, full type products, generic products, well established literature. So there are different types of legislatives and articles are there, so different requirements are there. Then environmental risk assessment report we also have to submit, and information which is related to orphan market exclusivity, so we also have to submit these datas. Information related to pharmacovigilance, like what are the different side effects or adverse effects of the drug product, so we have to also mention in the module 1. And information relating to the clinical trials, then information relating to the pediatrics, and response to queries, whatever the queries are there by the agencies, so we also have to response over there, and response to queries whatever the response, because there are control correspondence are also there, and response to queries are basically the agency is like we have raised a control correspondence, so the agency will respond to our queries. So these type of data will be included in the module 1. Now coming to additional data are also there. Then coming to module 2, which is CTD summary. So in CTD summary, there is a this is basically a format, like CTD gives the specification how to prepare the dossier and submit to the regulatory agency. So accordingly, we have to compile all the data in this format and then submit to the regulatory agency. So in CTD summary, so in CTD summary, there is a table of content, like we have to submit the table of content, then introduction. So in introduction, like general introduction to the pharmaceutical, including pharmacology, its mode of action, proposed clinical uses. Then 2.3 will include quality overall summary, right? And 2.4 will include non-clinical overview. And in non-clinical overview, there is a general aspects, and then content and structural format we have to submit, then clinical overview. Under clinical overview, we have to submit the product development of the content rationale, like what is the rationale behind the product development, right? Now then there will be overview of biopharmaceutics is also submitted in this section, overview of clinical pharmacology, right? Overview of efficacy, overview of safety, and then benefits and risk conclusions, then literature and references. Then coming to different section which is non-clinical part, so non-clinical written and tabulated summaries. We all in under this we have to submit the pharmacological data, then pharmacokinetic data, then toxicological data, right? So this is the format. And under the clinical summary, we have to submit biopharmaceutical studies and associated analytical methods, like the different analytical method used for the biopharmaceutic studies, and then clinical pharmacology studies clinical efficacy, clinical safety information, literature references. So this all about the module 2. Synopsis of individual studies are also there. Coming to module 3, so module 3 is basically contains the quality part. Okay, so under this quality we will discuss, like we have to mention the table of contents. Then 3.2 is describing the body of data, so it contains four informations like what the appendices, then regional information and the requirements. 32R, which is also we call 32R section. Then 32S section, which contains the information about drug substances, and 32P, which contains the information about the drug product. So four sections are there: appendices, 32A, 32R, which is regional information and requirements, 32S, which is drug substances, and 32P, which is drug product. Then 3.3, which is list of literature references. Then coming to one by one, like in 32S, what we have to submit in a format. So 32S drug substance. So 32S part contains 7 sections, S1 to S7, right? So 32S1 contains general information about the product. So under this general information, we have to submit nomenclature, then structure and general properties. Then 32S2 is for manufacturer details. Okay, like 32S21 manufacturer details. Then 32S22 description of the manufacturing process and process controls, like there are different manufacturing process by which we are preparing our product, so we have to mention all the process and the process controls, and then control of materials under the manufacturing part, then control of critical steps and intermediates. So we have to give all the information, right? Then process validation or evaluation and manufacturing process development, right? Then coming to 32S3, which is characterization. So characterization, under characterization there is a elucidation of the structures and other characteristics. Then impurities, because in our product there are so many impurities are also there, we have to mention all the impurities. Okay, and then control of drug substance, which is sorry, 32S4. So this S4 section is for control of drug substance. So this control of drug substance contains 32S41, which is specification of the drug substance. Like specification, under these specifications there are so many parameters are there, so we have to accordingly follow the ICH limits and all in the specification. Like our product is basically obey the ICH guidelines. Okay, and the limits is selected according to the guidelines. Then 32S42, which is contains analytical procedures, which we also called as standard STP, standard technical procedures. Then 32S43, which is validation of analytical procedures, like there are different validation parameters like linearity, precision. Okay, so these we have to mention. Then 32S44, which is batch analysis, certificate of analysis, we have to mention. And 32S45, like justification of specification, we have to justify our specifications what we have set. Okay, so then 32S5, which is reference standards or the materials, so we also have to mention our reference standards. 32S6, which contains the container closure system. Okay, so container closure system information we also have to give to the authority. Then 32S7, the stability information. So under the stability information there is a subsection like 32S71, which contains the stability summaries and the conclusions. Then 32S72, which is contains the post approval stability protocol and stability commitments, right? Then 32S3, which contains the stability data. So then coming to the 32P part, which is for drug product. So we have to submit drug substance information separately, drug product information separately to the dossier, right? So 32P. So 32P contains different sections like P1 to P8. So under P1, there what is P1? So 3 to P1 describes the description and composition of the drug product, because drug product is made up of different materials, like there are different excipients, active substances. So we have to mention all the composition of the drug product in this particular section. Now coming to 3 to P2, which is a pharmaceutical development part. Then this pharmaceutical development part contains different subsections. So we will discuss one by one. 3 to P21, this is components of the drug product. So we have to mention all the components of the drug product in this section only. 3 to P22, which is drug product information. 3 to P23, which contains manufacturing process development. 3 to P24, which contains container closure system. Then P25, this is microbiological attributes, and P26 for compatibility. Okay, then coming to 3 to P3, manufacturer details. So we have to mention 3 P31 in manufacturer details. Then 3 to P32 contains batch formula. Then P33 contains description of manufacturing process and the process controls. Then control of critical steps and intermediates. Then process validation or evaluation. We have to validate our process as well, right? And then coming to 3 to P4 section, which contains control of excipients. Then contain 3 to P41, which contains specifications. Then P42, which contains analytical procedures. P43, validation of analytical procedures. Then we have to mention justification of specification under P44. Then P45 contains excipients of the human or animal origin, whether the excipients is from human origin or the animal origin. Then the novel excipients comes under 3P46, 3 to P46, right? Then 3 to P5 section, which is control of the drug product. So under the control of the drug product, there are subsections like 3 to P51. 51 is basically for specification of the drug product. 52 is basically for analytical procedure. 53 is basically for validation of the analytical procedures. We have to mention precision, accuracy, robustness, all there, right? Then P54 contains batch analysis reports. Then P55, which is characterization of the impurities. Then P56 is contains justification of the specifications. And 3 to P6 is basically reference standards or materials. Then P7 is for container closure system. What are the packaging, like if there is a bottle, so bottle is having a cap and the body part. So we have to mention all the things, like how the cap is prepared from different materials, polymers and all. So we have to mention over this. And then 3 to P8, the stability part. Then P81 contains stability summary and conclusions. P82 contain post-approval study, stability protocol and stability commitments. Then there is a stability data. P83, 3 to P83 contains stability data, right? So there are different types of data we have to submit, like long-term data, intermediate data, accelerated stability data. So we have to mention accordingly, right? So coming to module 4, which is non-clinical study reports, like it contains about the information about non-clinical part. So table of content 4.1, and then 4.2 is the study reports. So what are the different studies carried out in the non-clinical parts? Pharmacology study, pharmacokinetic study, and toxicology study. So we have to mention all the three studies information in this section only. And then 4.3 is literature references. Now coming to 4.2.1, which is pharmacology studies. So under this there are several parameters, like we have to submit, like primary pharmacodynamic information of the product, then secondary pharmacodynamics, then safety pharmacology, and 4.2.4 about pharmacodynamics, drug interactions, because there are various drug interactions are there. So how the drug is response to the body, right? So pharmacodynamics, drug interactions. So and then pharmacokinetics is basically ADME, like absorption, distribution, metabolism and excretion. So we have to mention all the studies there, like 4.2.2.1 is analytical methods and validation reports, then absorption study, distribution study, metabolism study, and excretion studies, right? And then pharmacokinetic drug interaction. So basically pharmacodynamics is basically what a drug does to the body, and pharmacokinetic is a what a body does to the drug. Okay. Then 4.2.2.7 is other pharmacokinetic studies we also have to mention in that section, right? Then under the toxicology, there is a single dose toxicity studies, repeat dose toxicity study, genotoxicity, and then carcinogenicity, reproductive and development toxicity, right? So we have to mention all the information there, local tolerance, and then other toxicity studies. Then coming to module 5. So module 5 is basically contains the clinical study reports. So I forgot to mention the name there. So this is module 5, which is basically clinical study reports. So then table, this contains table of contents and table listing of all clinical studies and then clinical study reports, right? So 5.4 contains list of key literature references, what are the whatever the references are used for that studies, so we also have to mention over there. So in bioavailability, so in the clinical study reports, there are different. So guys, this is module 5, I forgot to mention, so please write accordingly. Okay, so this is module 5. So module 5 contains this thing, the clinical study reports. So under the clinical study reports, like 5.3.1.1, which is bioavailability study reports, then 5.3.1.2 contains comparative bioavailability and bioequivalence study reports, then in vitro in vivo correlation study reports, which is generally called as IVIVC study reports, right? And it also contains reports of bioanalytical and analytical methods. So this is module 5, which is clinical study reports, right? So now coming to 5.3.2.1, which is plasma protein binding study reports. Okay, so this section also contain plasma protein binding reports, reports of hepatic metabolism and drug interaction studies, okay, and reports of studies which using human biomaterials and healthy subjects pharmacokinetic and initial tolerability study reports is also there, patient pharmacokinetic and initial tolerability study reports, intrinsic factor pharmacokinetic study reports, extrinsic factor pharmacokinetic study reports, okay, population pharmacokinetic study reports, healthy subject pharmacodynamic pharmacokinetic oblique pharmacodynamic study reports, PKPD study reports, and patient PD and PKPD study reports, okay. And the study reports of control clinical studies are also there in this section. Then study reports of controlled uncontrolled clinical studies, reports of analysis of data from more than one studies, other clinical study reports. So all the data is given in the section module 5, right? Reports of post marketing studies are also conducted. So post marketing studies data is also submitted in the module 5 section. Case report forms and individual patient listings are also there. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you like, please subscribe this channel Education Tricks 99, and please like my channel, share my channel, and please don't forget to hit the bell icon for latest notification.